If I could scan your brain right now, while you're scrolling through social media, I would probably see a lot of activity in your anterior cingulate cortex. Now, that's the region associated with social pain. It's the exact same region that lights up when you experience physical pain. Just let that sink in for a moment. Your brain doesn't really know the difference between being physically hurt and feeling socially behind. That heavy feeling in your chest, that quiet panic when you see someone your age succeeding online, that's not a sign of weakness. That's neurobiology. And today, we're going to break it all down. Your brain is, first and foremost, a social survival machine. For 99% of human history, our survival literally depended on belonging to a group. Neuroscientists have found that social rejection activates the very same neural pathways as a physical injury. Why? Because, from an evolutionary standpoint, being excluded meant death. So, your brain evolved to constantly monitor your social standing. It's always asking, where do I rank? Am I valuable to the group? Am I falling behind? This isn't just insecurity. It is ancient software running in a modern world. But here's the problem. Your brain was designed to compare you to maybe 30 or 50 people in a small tribe. It was not designed to compare you to millions of curated highlight reels online. And when it tries to process that immense scale, it just overloads. This brings us to dopamine and the comparison trap. Every time you scroll, your brain releases these little bursts of dopamine. But here's a common misconception. Dopamine isn't the pleasure chemical. It's the anticipation chemical. It's what makes you seek novelty, seek validation, seek status. And research shows something fascinating. Frequent dopamine spikes from unpredictable rewards, just like the ones you get from social media, actually lower your baseline satisfaction levels over time. This means the more you scroll, the less satisfied you feel with your own life. It's not because your life is actually worse. It's because your brain's reward system is being constantly recalibrated upward. Suddenly, normal, steady progress feels agonizingly slow. Quiet growth feels invisible. Incremental improvement feels completely inadequate. Your brain becomes addicted to visible, flashy success. This creates the powerful illusion of falling behind. Look, there is no biological timeline for success, but your brain absolutely craves patterns and predictability. It uses something called social referencing, which is just comparing yourself to others to figure out your own position. When your life path deviates from what you perceive as the norm, your amygdala, which is your brain's threat detector, activates. And to your brain, deviation feels like danger. This happens even if you're perfectly safe, even if you're making progress, even if you're growing. Your brain would rather follow a familiar, well-trodden timeline than risk social unpredictability. So it creates this narrative. I'm behind, but you have to remember, that narrative is emotional, not factual. So why does actual growth sometimes feel like failure? There's another mechanism at play here. It's called neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to rewire itself. When you try something new, take a risk, or push yourself into uncertainty, your brain consumes way more glucose and oxygen. It requires a lot more energy, and your brain, being incredibly efficient, hates unnecessary energy expenditure, so it interprets that cognitive strain as a warning signal. Discomfort equals danger, even though discomfort is very often the prerequisite for growth. This is why starting something new feels so much harder than just staying where you are. It's not because you lack discipline. It's because your brain prefers efficiency over expansion. So, here's the reframe. That feeling of being behind is not proof that you are failing. It is proof of your awareness. Only a self-aware brain can even make these comparisons. Only a reflective mind can question its own trajectory, and awareness is always the first step toward meaningful change. So instead of asking, am I behind? Start asking, what system is my brain reacting to? Are you overstimulated? Are you overexposed? Are you overcomparing? Reduce the input. Your brain evolved for depth and connection, not for infinite, shallow comparison. So, what actually moves you forward? Based on neuroscience, research in behavioral psychology shows something really powerful. Progress increases motivation. More than motivation creates progress. This is called the progress principle. Small wins release dopamine in a stable, reinforcing way. Not the chaotic spikes from social media, but a controlled reinforcement. This is what builds sustainable, long-term drive. So the solution isn't to fix your life overnight. The solution is to create small, measurable wins every single day. One completed task, one skill practice for 15 minutes, one promise you keep to yourself, Each small win recalibrates your reward system for the better. Each win sends a clear signal to your brain. I am moving, and that feeling of motion kills the illusion of being stuck. So let's reframe this one last time. You are not behind. You are living in a comparison environment your brain was never designed to handle. You are measuring your own invisible, internal growth against other people's visible, external outcomes, and you are mistaking neurological stress for personal failure. But now you know the difference. So here's the real question. What small, controlled win can you create for yourself today? Because your brain doesn't need a massive life overhaul. It needs consistent evidence of progress, and that evidence is what changes your identity. Thank you for spending your time with us. If this video gave you clarity instead of just hype, subscribe and turn on notifications for more, because on this channel, we train the mind. Thanks for watching.